I am Jenna Bosonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and international news headlines. Choral legend Tata Dinding Jobate passed away on Saturday at the Birkama Health Center at the age of 56 after a brief illness. Hundreds of mourners attended his funeral on Sunday. 10 months after the historic foundation stones laying for the construction of major roads linking Kaur and Yin Sanjal in the North Bank region and Central River region, we went back to see the progress of work. Fatoumata Kasama, the CEO of Girls Pride, has emerged winner of the Stone Circle Awards Youth Excellence Award 2021. There is so much excitement in Basse and the Upper River region in general as the people prepare for the landmark inauguration of the major roads and bridges in the region. In international news, today, August 23rd, is International Day for the Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition, commemorated to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all peoples. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Some sad news. Choral legend Tata Dinding Jobate passed away on Saturday at the Birkama Health Center at the age of 56 after a brief illness. He was laid to rest on Sunday after a ceremony attended by hundreds of mourners. Our reporter Mudu Gajaga attended the funeral and he files in his report.
Musician Ibrahim Jobate, known by his stage name Tata Dinding, answered to the call of our creator on Saturday after a brief illness. Hundreds of mourners, including women and children, were at the Birkama Central Mosque to pay their last respects. Tata Dinding is described by many as generous, caring and a devout Muslim. This was confirmed by many who said most of the time he would play fundraising concerts for free. Among those bereaved is his brother, Bai Jobate, who managed to say a few words about his brother.
He was briefly ill. His passing is a great loss to us. We are so sad, but we still see it as something ordained by Allah. He must answer Allah's call, which he did.
Two of his colleagues also describe his passing as a great loss, not only for them, but for his musical group called the Salam Band.
We are very sad. I'm just praying that his soul rest in eternal peace. It was destiny that Tata's life will end this way. My heart is very heavy. I am praying that Allah grant him Jannah.
Samsidin Toure, who was also among the mourners, says he lost a friend who meant a lot to him.
Tata
Dinding is my griot. I spent my childhood going to their home. His late father used to be my father's friend and regularly visited our home. I am praying for him to be granted Jannah.
After the janaza, Muslim prayer was done. Tata Dinding's casket was lifted bound for the cemetery, the eternal resting place. These women couldn't hold back their tears. Tata Dinding's music transcends the Gambia and Senegal. His kora and his voice resonate not only in Africa but in Europe too, especially Hamburg in Germany, where he played several music concerts. Some of his most popular songs include Africa, Kano.
Kano wala muntela present ID card. Ya hadamading. Faise bula jarol kono, natol kono. Nata bula natol kono nga sasa sotong sasa mi alon ko ma Kenya lon, mo ma lon abota dami no. So barintenga loni ntikafle ala lon abota wala kala moka. Kabruwo sasa duntena so nata lanjuro sasa kono. Saimbuka tamano correctly.
Tata is gone, but his music, work, and selfless sacrifice to help and entertain mankind, and our memories of him will live on. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, 10 months after the historic foundation stones laying for the construction of the major roads linking Kaur and Jen Sanjal to several communities in the North Bank and Central River regions, we went back to see the progress of work. Aliou Cisse has the rest of that.
In November 2020, the people of Sabak Sanjal and Lower Salem districts gathered in Jen Sanjal and Kaur respectively for the historic laying of the foundation stones, marking the commencement of the long-awaited work on two major roads linking Jen Sanjal and Kaur to several communities. The 86-kilometer project is fully government-funded at an estimated $1.6 billion and will last 1 year 4 months. The road is divided into two lots. Lot 1 is a 38-kilometer road linking Saba Sukutu to Bambali, Sarakunda to Jen Sanjal, and is awarded to RST Construction Company Limited. Lot 2 is awarded to CSE, a Senegalese company, covering Kaur to Jimbala, Kaur to Ker Ulde, and Kaur Jani Kunda to the Senegalese border village of Ker Chendu, a total distance of 48 kilometers. Both contractors had promised quality and timely completion of the projects. On our return to reassess the progress of work at the different project sites, we observed that RSK is making huge progress as they have already gravelled the road, which has made it user-friendly for drivers ahead of pavement. Here, locals express delight with the progress of the work and are hopeful that the road will be completed soon. They applauded the government for fulfilling its promise.
We are very hopeful with the ongoing road construction. We have not spotted any faults yet with the area already covered. The construction is based on high standards.
I thank God, the President and the road constructors. The road construction is progressing as expected. Prior to the construction of the road, we struggled every day. But now that it is under construction, I think our challenges will soon come to an end.
This road has given us tough times. Previously, I normally spend more than 30 to 35 minutes plying this road. But now I can travel from Gain to Farafenye in less than 15 minutes. And even when it rains heavily, we don't have any difficulty. It is all leveled and okay.
Completion of this road will greatly improve the lives of the people of this area. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
From that report by Aliou Cisse, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we return, we have some more local news stories as well as international. Do stay tuned.
Promote your product, business, and brand to millions of viewers nationwide or across the globe. Call QTV Marketing on 32-44444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm for all your advertisement needs. QTV Gambia, right place.
Now, with Ajibank, you can make your vehicle number plate payments without any hassle. Walk into any of our bank branches or agencies located at Banjul, New Josuang, Karaba Avenue, Bakote, Tranquil Brusubi, Brikama, Basse, Farafenye, Numuyel or Garawal. Your number plate payments now made easy with Ajibank. For more information, please call us on 422-8405 or 377-5811. Ajibank, your investment partner.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, there's so much excitement in Basse and Upper River region in general as people prepare for the landmark inauguration of the major roads and bridges in the region. Aliou Cisse visited the area to capture the mood, and he now reports.
The people of the region have been yearning for these life-changing developments since independence, but the way is nearly over as they look forward with excitement to the official inauguration on September 4th by President Adama Barrow. The foundation stone for the construction of the 51-kilometer Basse-Fatoto-Koina route and bridges in the Upper River region was laid in December 2018. This massive multi-million-dollar project, funded by the government of the People's Republic of China, followed the signing of cooperation agreements during President Barrow's visit to Beijing. The construction is awarded to Longyan Road and Bridge Company Limited, a Chinese company. These developments construction have already transformed the region, and the positive impact on the lives and livelihoods of the people is already being felt and cannot be overestimated. For many years, the people of this region have complained of a lack of development. Prior to these projects, people traveled on bumpy roads and relied on boats and ferries to cross, but all that is now history. Ibuba, a native of Basse, is grateful to be able to witness such projects and progress in his town and region. He praised the government of Adama Barrow for fulfilling one of his 2016 campaign promises to the people of URR.
All the projects in the country are important, but this one is the most important because we have some clinics that are hospitals that are behind the river. When patient comes, sometimes they die at the riverside here because of the delay of the ferry. But this bridge, when it comes, you just saw an ambulance passed, and it will help, and also the nurses who are escorting the patients to the hospital. People of URR are ready to show the whole world that we are ready to receive him and thank him for what he has done for us.
Idrissa Jallo, another native of Basse, said every genuine Gambian is excited by the development. Speaking through a translator, Mr. Nyung, the project manager, says he is proud that the main project is ready, with only the installation of traffic signs remaining.
我们会为冈比亚献上一条最好的路桥项目，让冈比亚人民满意。
We will build the best road and the bridge for Gambia people, and then now the road and the bridge is already can drive the car, but just like some traffic signs and the road lines.
Ahead of inauguration, Governor Sambaba said the people of his region are overwhelmed as they prepare and are ready for an event already destined to be a memorable event. Governor Ba said the projects will benefit the whole country.
So right now everybody in Upper River region, they are so happy, but they also felt that now they are part and parcel of government, and then now they are considered also. Some of their problems that have been lingering for years now have now been solved, and particularly with the coming of the roads and bridges through His Excellency the President of the Republic, that is Adama Barrow. The preparation is in high gears. As you all know, everybody is waiting for that event, is anticipating to see the event happening, and then that's on the 4th. And right now we are on the mobilization, and then already as the chair of the Technical Advisory Committee, we have called for meetings, and then we have divided ourselves into committees, into subcommittees, which is each committee is tasked with the responsibility of doing something.
China had and continues to be one of the main development allies to the Gambia. These projects are expected to spur growth and contribute to the socio-economic progress of the local dwellers, as it will provide vital access for communities. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
I can see excitement all over the place. Now, Fatoumata Gassama, the CEO of Girls Pride, has emerged winner of the Stone Circle Awards Youth Excellence Award 2021. This comes as we continue to celebrate International Youth Day, which falls on August 12. Ajibintu Drame spoke to her and she sent us report.
Fatoumata Gassama is a freelance nurse and the CEO of Girls Pride, a social enterprise that provides reusable sanitary pads and other reusable materials for the welfare of girls, particularly those from the least privileged backgrounds who find it difficult to go to school. She is also an advocate for creating a comfortable atmosphere for women and girls' sexual and reproductive health by addressing menstrual hygiene. During our conversation, she expressed delight at receiving the award, explaining the reason she stood out from the others.
The fact that we are providing reusable sanitary pads to keep girls in schools during their period, especially girls from rural Gambia whose parents are from low-income societies. So they believe it's the impact that we are having in the community when it comes to environment, health, and climate actions is the reason why they gave us the award.
Dedicating the award to all girls from the rural community who find it difficult to get to school due to the lack of sanitary pads, She further states that 80% of the organization's activities are free. However, she sells sanitary pads and offers services for sustenance. She explains the challenges she faces.
One of the challenges that we get is funding, and then I believe we having challenges with Gambians supporting us, getting local support. Most of the support that we get is from international bodies. So having Gambians support our initiative from the private sector, having partnership with the Ministry of Basic Education, Health, Environment will be something that will give us the opportunity to create a greater impact in the Gambia.
As a young person, another challenge she emphasizes was young people's lack of willingness to work, adding that 90% of her staff are men. She advised youth to nurture their skills and gain an entrepreneurial mindset, together with consistency for self and national development. She explains her future endeavors.
Having men in the central, providing this training and lighting will also help us break the taboos. And when a man and a woman can talk about sexual and reproductive health at home, they will be able to educate their kids, and when those people grow up in that environment, they will see that it's a normal thing. From the Global Youth Movement, $5,000. So our intention, it came alongside with the announcement of the award. What we are working on is to provide 450 kits of reusable sanitary pads to girls who are from low-income families in Central River region. We could go to schools or Hermitage boarding school, it depends. So we are working on that, and each of these girls will have 5 reusable pads that they can use for a minimum of 2 years.
As a writer, Fatoumata is working on a comic storybook on sexual and reproductive health, which is expected to trigger and establish conversations in homes and schools in a more amicable and comfortable way for parents and girls. She has also created a game card called Period Flashcard, containing information about periods to help young children get knowledge of menstruation. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Congratulations, Fatu. Now on to news beyond our borders. Today, August 23rd, is the International Day for the Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition. The day is commemorated to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all peoples, according to UNESCO. QTV's Momodolamin Choi gives a historical reflection of the trade in River Gambia areas.
It is a remembrance of pain, tragedy, cruelty, at its highest degree of inhumane and degrading condition, by humans systematically organized against other humans. It is more than 2 centuries since the trade was abolished, but still the historical records and legacy of slavery remain the worst human catastrophe in history. Here is Hazum Sise, a leading Gambian historian, helping us reflect on slavery in the context of our own history. Mr. Sise starts by narrating the causes of slavery.
It was this, greed, brought about by mercantile capitalism, which led to the Atlantic, slave trade. Now, what made it strong was that there was so much profit in it. They came to Africa to exchange human beings for, items like a mirror. Like you give the African chief a mirror, the African chief will give them 5 strong men.
Evidently, our very own institutions, led by traditional rulers, champion the trade against their own subjects, playing a fundamental role in cooperating with European slavers. As a lucrative business, the transatlantic slave trade became a competitive and booming industry, serving as an engine for economic growth for Europe and the Americas.
So very soon you had a whole economy in the West that was predicated on the transatlantic slave trade. So because it was profitable, it was protected in the West.
There remains a debate among historians as to the number of people captured and enslaved from Africa. But estimates vary that between 10 million and 28 million Africans were sent to the Americas and sold into slavery between 1450 and the early 19th century. For the number of people enslaved around the River Gambia areas, prominent historians, including Gambia's leading historian Hazum Sise,
have concluded on an estimated figure between 380,000 to 500,000.
In fact, in the new book I have just done, for example, the MV Lot Lagonia departed James Island, that's the name of a ship, a slave ship, on the 5th of July, 1767. It had 140 slaves on board, including Kunta Kinte. Okay? And after 6 weeks, only 96 out of the 140, arrived at Annapolis in America.
The gruesome nature of the trade led to the death of more than 1 million who are believed to have died in transit across the so-called Middle Passage of the Atlantic due to inhumane conditions aboard slave ships and the brutal crushing of any resistance.
And most of them would have passed through James Island or passed through Gore. Okay? But because James Island became a slave depot much earlier than Gore, like a lot more Africans left James Island to the New World as slaves.
The effects of slavery on the African continent has a long-lasting impact as ever. Through it, the continent was depopulated, followed by industrial revolution that led to racism, colonialism, the milking machine of our resources that has swallowed us in abject poverty and the continuous suffering of Africans for centuries. Remarkably, at its abolition, it was the slavers who were compensated. The British government borrowed £20 million to compensate slave owners, which amounted to a massive 40% of the Treasury's annual income, or about 5% of British GDP. The loan was one of the largest in history. As calls for remembrance grow, so too have calls for reparations to the African nations. Mahmoud Lamin, QTV News.
Ugandan authorities have halted the operations of 54 non-governmental organizations for alleged non-compliance. However, the suspensions are being seen as an effort to tighten control over civil society, as it has affected a range of groups. More in this report by Omar P. Jallo.
Uganda's National Bureau for Non-Governmental Organizations, which falls under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, said the suspension was ordered for a range of reasons, including non-compliance with regulations which required NGOs and other groups not to be involved in politics, and alleges that the organizations had not complied with the NGO Act. Of the 54 NGOs, it says that 23 had expired permits, while 15 had not filed annual returns. Others are alleged to have failed to register with authorities. According to critics, the NGOs affected include charities whose work defending the rights of political activists and people affected by a crude oil production project in western Uganda has irritated some government officials. Rights Group Chapter 4, a civil liberties watchdog that has often helped defend leaders and supporters of opposition parties detained on political-related charges, is one of the organizations ordered to suspend operations. The group's executive director, Nicholas Opeyo, confirmed that his organization is accused of failing to file returns and non-disclosure of funds. He posted a receipt on Twitter, appearing to show payment annual returns with a clearly visible government stamp, dated January 11, 2021. Opio said he was deeply concerned by the order to close and urges the authorities to urgently resolve this situation to enable Chapter 4 to commence operations again. Authorities arrested Opio in December 2020 for alleged money laundering. To date, despite a number of court appearances, the government has yet to produce any evidence to support the charge. The European Union, alongside the United States and a number of international donors, protested Opio's arrest. The head of the African Institute for Energy Governance, Dickens Kamugisho, told the Reuters that his institution will challenge the government's decision in court, adding this is political prosecution. When you do work that they do not like, you become their enemy number one. The Africa Institute for Energy Governance has been involved in the promotion of rights of people affected by the crude oil development project. It and other charities have also campaigned against the proposed East African crude oil pipeline project, citing its potential impact on the climate and the environment. President Yoweri Museveni, who has ruled the East African countries since 1986, has long been accused by some Western governments, international pressure groups and local oppositions of using security forces to intimidate and harass opponents, critics and right activists, increasing pressure on NGOs, accusing some of them of backing the oppositions. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Before we end its news bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main headlines. Kora legend Tata Dinding Jabate passed away on Saturday at the Brikama Health Center at the age of 56 after a brief illness. Hundreds of mourners attended his funeral on Sunday. 10 months after the historic foundation stones laying for the construction of major roads linking Kawur and Yen Sanjal in the North Bank and Central River regions, we went back to see the progress of work. Fatoumata Gassama, the CEO of Girls Pride, has emerged winner of the Stone Circle Awards Youth Excellence Award 2021. There is so much excitement in Basse and the Upper River region in general as the people prepare for the landmark inauguration of the major roads and bridges in the region. In international news, today, August 23rd, is International Day for the Remembrance of Slave Trade and its abolition, commemorated to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all peoples. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.